Alright, let's talk about cameras. I've had some people asking me to do some videos on this, and it's something fairly simple to me, but um, I know a lot of people haven't been around the sim for 12 years, so loaded up a replay just to make this easier. Got the start of the ARCA race at Watkins Glen going by right now. So as they go by, we are on pit lane 2. This is a static camera, and it's a fixed position, not a blimp, chopper, chase, on car, or a driving camera. And I have everything set up here. These are what I changed so that I can use the WASD and IJKL to control. So we can move wherever we want and however we want. It's a free camera. Now I have key acceleration and key 10 on. Take key acceleration off, and that allows you to just hold the speed that you want. You can increase the speed here and do all this, so it gets quicker. These camera views you don't need to worry about. All it does is show you where the camera is. That, I think, is if, let's say, you want the camera to be in the stands right here. You know that that's where it is. And then if you go live, you're in the stands, and you can watch the cars come by. Now you will see, and I will show this lady right here clipping in there. That is near plane bias. So you can just make everything disappear, or as you close it in, you can see that we're standing in the lady that we put the camera in. So this is used so that you don't get objects clipping through if you're at a camera angle, but too low, and you'll start to have Z flickering where objects, I don't know if there'll be anything that's obvious here. Doesn't look like it. There's nothing too obvious. But what I recommend is having it at their setting of 1 and adjusting for your needs for what's around it. So, I actually selected my seats at Circuit of America for the F1 race using this. We will go back to static. When you're on looking at the car, you lose the Y, P, and R. That's your yaw, pitch, and rotation. And if you go to static, then you can mess with all that. This is how I do all of my little screenshots for the thumbnails and everything else. You can explore all over the place. Now, as you can see, we're clipping through there right now. So we'll go ahead and go back to a lower. And you can see the back of Watkins Glen, which you never would see. And yet they have modeled stuff back here. We got a Crown Royal. They model all this for the Blimp camera, so it doesn't look too strange. But then when you get at angles like this, you can see that the bottom of the stands aren't made to be a texture, so then you're kind of looking through that stuff. What we got over here, a ticket booth, or just a, no, it's not a ticket booth, is it? So, that is the basics of moving around, walking around, and seeing the world. Come over to the garage area, and obviously, I think they did change the garage up around here, so this isn't the newest updated. But like this building, can't say that I've ever noticed it. It's Victory Lane. You can take a closer look. I mean, they've got this modeled very well, but it's not something we ever can use, just because getting back here is behind a bunch of fences and invisible walls. Alright, so I will put the race back going. This is just for a single camera. This is pit lane 2, and active in pit lane 2 group is just pit lane 2. Now if we switch to, let's go TV1. So this is going to be TV1 with me. We're watching my car go around. You can see that the grouping, it's going through all these cameras. So this is set by the start and end ranges. And you can have them overlap a bit or double them up, and it will just randomly select which ones it uses at that point on the track. You can also change what points they start by, we're looking at my car. Let's see when it switches. Okay, so it just switched there to this camera, camera 10, TV1 10. So it started at 3292. So let's say we wanted to see this angle, but right from the apex of the corner. So we're going to go ahead and set end. And it's going to go 3173. And then I just go forward, and then I'm going to go 3173. So now this camera starts earlier, but obviously that's a bad angle. So that's how those work. You can change them and do whatever you want to get, you know, if you're annoyed that one of the TV cameras takes too long or it goes behind some trees, you can change that up. So all of these are, you can move. Now, there's something here. Default camera, we're zoomed in too much and we are clipping. So you can either zoom it out, and we're clipping through there, or you can change the near plane bias so that it doesn't do that. But then we're also getting some right there. So what I would do is just change this, and we're still getting it because there should be a pole in our way there. And now we don't see anything too gamey about that. Alright, so that's a pretty simple overview for the cameras. Now, for some of these, the new stuff, you can increase shake. You can also pump the exposure way up, or take it all the way down. But it's probably best just to leave it, unless you're on a darker track. So we've also got this, and this helps for screenshots, the Vanish X, Vanish Y. So we are, let's say, okay, I see this white car down here, and I kind of want it in the shot for a screenshot. Well, there we go. Now you do have to watch out because shadows don't get rendered sometimes off of this. But now, instead of my car being in the middle of the shot, it's kind of off to this side of the screen. And we'll stay there. But you can see the problem with that once you start turning and everything. The camera can get a little bit behind. You've also got the mic gain and parabolic mic. So this, with parabolic mic unchecked, means that all the sounds directly or closest to the camera are going to be the ones that are heard. So you can see that the white car going by, we don't hear him go by because there's a cone trying to capture the sound coming from my car. So if you don't like that, turn this off and you'll hear the white car go by, and then my car. And you'll hear a lot more ambient noise also around there. Let's talk about the cockpit camera. And this is how I set up mine. So I have The cockpit camera can be moved back or forward, and if you save this, it will let you race your field of view, but at this distance back from the wheel. So if you feel like your field of view is too tight, and I always feel like the camera is a little too far up the way my brain works on what I'm seeing, and I want the camera to be where my eyes would be, so I usually put it right about here, but I don't think I've changed it for the Arca, so I'm not going to mess with it. But you can move that and save it. You can also change the exposure, and I do this at 5 flags where it's really dark, so I crank it up, and that's going to help me. Obviously here it's not. On an extremely sunny day, put the exposure all the way down, and now you got yourself sort of a visor, but you can see there's a little bit of issues with that, but you're not going to get that massive sun glare just because the exposure is not cranked to the minimum. Shake isn't part of this, and I don't know if these actually affect the driving view or not. I don't think they will. I think what the Vanish Y is might be the percentage from horizontal or horizon. I don't think you can change this. And then the mic gain, I don't know if that plays any part into the actual in-car thing. So if you want to set up a camera, you can get this all changed to how you want it, and you need to save car and save it car.cam. And just save, and it'll automatically load up every time. So let's talk about, let's just go with the Blimp cam now. This is one of my favorite cameras, and it's not for areas like this, where you're just looking down. This is for when I do music videos or stuff like that and want kind of like a sweeping action shot. So, we're at the group, and I am going to go to zoom and go 0 zoom. So now we can see the whole track. Now the controls on this camera are weird and backwards because the Blimp is doing a circle around a point that you're on, so things can get very strange. This is the radius of the circle that the Blimp is making. I'm going to make it as small as I can to help me control this. And we are going to try to get a drone camera. Like I said, controlling this is annoying as hell. We're going to get like a drone camera look right here as we enter the bus stop. So you can see, if you rewind or fast forward, you can see the path that this is on, and I want it to go the other way. Where did that put us? Alright, that put us over. So I want the drone coming at us and then swooping past. So change the height. We're going to keep it at zoom 0 right now. As we come into the bus stop, it's flying over it. So you can time these up. Alright, so I want to be right over top as we enter. So I'm going to move this. And there we go. So you can set up pretty cool action shots there. You can go with static, and it's just going to face one direction. But that is difficult to use. So we're going to go at group. We're going to zoom it in. And we're going to go up just a little bit. Get So to use this, you can put this into one of those groupings and then just have it do that. But every lap is going to be a little different because the blimp is just on a timed radius, or it's doing this 100 radius at this speed, so it could be in a different position the next lap for when the car comes through. And we can see that if we just go back to all these guys. And now we're on this side. Go back to this car, kind of getting out in the trees. We can still get some really cool shots that iRacing doesn't set up default. So, one other thing. Okay, we're a little too far over this way, so just move your camera at those points. We'll move up just a little bit. Like I said, this camera control for the blimp is very annoying, so. Nice moving camera. And there they go. Alright, so that's the blimp cam. It's fairly simple. All of these same things apply to it. Now we're going to go to chase cam. This one's at the car, so its focus is here at the car. You can change it to green. And this is going to try to keep every car that's near in the picture. So you get this kind of flowing back and forth camera going on. Here we go, at the car again. You can change this. You can move up and down. Turn this off here. So you can rotate. I use this for when I'm painting and looking around at each part of the car. One kind of fun thing is this near plane bias. You can start peeling away the car. So you can see, and this is an older car, so it's not modeled in great detail underneath, but you can see inside, go around, see everything that they've got modeled in these cars. And it's just something fun. It's not, not anything that you're going to use. But it's also how I did my field of view video to get some of the shots that I needed. So, with this, all the same stuff. Set up everything that you want to. And I don't think I do a whole lot with this. It's just, you can go dampen camera, then it's not such a fixed. And then if you go dampen camera and group, then it's even more of a flow. But it gets you a cool shot. Then you've also got to watch out for those walls and everything that you get close to. Then we have the on-car stuff. So we're going to go right front suspension. So with these, move it around and put it anywhere you want. Now what you got to worry about is it in cockpit? If you are using an in-cockpit camera, let's go with gyro. If you want to take gyro off, turn that on, but you can also put both of these on pitch and roll. So you can see inside here, well, this car is shit and needs an update, but you can see everything is modeled really nice inside because it's selected in cockpit, and it knows that since you're in cockpit, you shouldn't see everything outside, which is that. And that is saving you frames and everything. It doesn't even have a rear window modeled or anything. Once you get inside, then it's got modeling there. That's how they save you frames and have more detail inside. If you go, it's an out of cockpit, and you go in cockpit, then the the opposite's true, and everything inside looks like shit, because you should be a little bit further away from it, and everything outside is detailed. So be aware of that if you're starting to play with these cameras on the car, because that changes your sound and the quality of the graphics on if you're looking inside or outside. And let's see if there's anything else. Scenic cam. This is just stationary cams that rotate through. You can add, or actually, yeah, that's what we need to look at. One thing I forgot with TV cameras. We'll go to TV 1, okay? Let's say you want to know what it would be like to sit on the front stretch stands and try to watch a car. So we're going to take camera 1, we're going to do all the things that we learned, and we're going to say, alright, let's buy the highest seat we absolutely can here. I'm going to keep it just above so we don't have to deal with the fans being in our view. And we're gonna zoom in because you bought some binoculars. But we want to know what it's like to sit here for the whole race and what all we can see. Well, the camera just changed. So how are we going to know? So you're going to keep camera TV 1. It's selected. It's got this number here showing you, I think this is how much longer it has until it turns off. Yeah. And we're just going to remove all these other cameras. So now the only thing in TV 1 is camera TV 100. And you can add any camera you want into this. So now the camera doesn't change away, and you can see from the highest seat on the front stretch, be able to see into turn 1, be able to see a little bit, and then all of a sudden the cars vanish, but you can kind of see them coming back up and lose them again behind the hills as they go up the S's. At the top of the S's, you just probably barely see them going down the back stretch. We're going to zoom out a little bit. And then they're lost in the trees. Can actually see the bus stop from here. That's not something I would have thought. And then around the carousel. You lose them. Kind of see them through the trees out of the carousel. You can see where the boot comes back on. And into the final 2 corners, you actually got a decent view. Lose them behind the trees. Kind of lose them behind the bridge for the final corner, which is kind of a sucky place to put the bridge for everyone sitting in the front stretch. There's a lap from the stands. So that's what I use on dirt tracks in order to have just a single camera. But it looks like iRacing is starting to do that more with tracks that they come out with, at least the shorter ones. I cannot think of anything else that I really need to talk about. It's pretty simple, 23-minute overview, 24-minute overview. To get the camera, CTRL+F12. I hope I said that at the start. If not, then you're going to be going, why the hell didn't you tell me how to get that? So you can configure this, like I said, with all of these. There's so many other shortcuts that you can use. And to get, if your thing's been unassigned, to pull up the cameras, where is it? Well, here's another thing. I don't really use these except for looking at incidents, but you can look at all your camera controls. You can figure it out. X incident, go to a lap. Other controls, CTRL+F12, open the camera tool. And one other thing that's sort of related to this, we are on lap 12. Let's say we want to go back to lap 3. You don't need to rewind, just double click on lap 3. or if you want to switch to someone, double click on their name. It's that simple. So, I hope that answered a lot of the questions that people have, and sorry I didn't have it in any set order, and I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. Let me know if you got any questions, and I will try to explain it in writing, and yeah, hope that helps. Thanks for watching.